Good morning, guys. So today's going to be a little bit different of a video, which I assume by the title you have guessed. I'm going to be preparing an area and planting our Brazilian cherry tree that we've been growing. It's in a pot and it's doing really well, but it's to the point now where it needs to get put into the ground. So that's what today's video is going to be about. Preparing an area, building a kind of like a raised bed out of some pallets, and then laying out some weed cloth, and then getting the tree planted in the ground. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. It's something different from what I've been doing, but something that's going to be a big part of the channel going forward as we develop the back of the property, which is, if you've seen the older videos where the land was being cleared, that's that whole area back there, which over the next year or two will be turning into a fruit forest and hopefully a good provider to get some fruits and vegetables. Eventually there will be a greenhouse back there, a bunch of other stuff too. So anyway, that's going to be today's video. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. So getting right into it, I just want to show you the area here, which is just past the upper gate. So this area over here is where I want to plant the tree. So the Brazilian cherry can get decent size, anywhere from maybe 12 up to possibly 17-foot diameter once it's fully grown, all the way around. So my goal today is to get this whole area cleared, get some weed mat down in this whole area. And there's a big pile of rocks there, which you can't see because of all this growth. But there's a big pile of rocks there from when James was breaking up the area where the garage is now, where the shop is being built, which is, right behind me. So when he was breaking up this wall, he got a bunch of big rocks. There's also a pretty good pile of rocks right there too, which is also overgrown. Anyway, I'm gonna clear this whole area. I'm gonna lay down some weed mat. I do have some tea growing in here, which is the red and green leafed, very common plant here in Hawaii that is used for a lot of different things. So I'm going to try to save those. I'll just cut holes in the weed mat and then put it around them, and maybe tend to them a little bit better, because I basically just put them in there. They were tops when I was transplanting before. The tea plant you can basically cut into sections, and then you can put them into a bucket, and then each section will grow into a whole new tree. So it's easy to reproduce and propagate those plants. Anyway, this is the area where it's going to go. So as you can see, I got a lot of work ahead of me trying to clear this out. There's not a whole lot of dirt here. There's a little bit of dirt, but mostly rocks. As you can see, there's a big lava shelf here and a big lava mound there. This will eventually be a road, going to the back. So lots of plans for the back here. But anyway, I'm going to start getting this area cleared out. I want to go show you the Brazilian cherry real quick, and then I'll come back and get to work. So this is kind of our little nursery area, but this is it. This is the Brazilian cherry, and she's doing really good. That's just some crap on there. But yeah, we're getting all kinds of new growth on here. This plant has maybe at least doubled in size since we transplanted it into this pot. You can see we have some plumeria. I have some more rainbow eucalyptus. This is a yuzu. It's a Japanese citrus, which is doing real well too. So this is going to need to get transplanted soon as well. These are some little bleeding hearts that I've cut and I'm propagating. So this has a really nice little white flower, and it grows. This is eventually going to get planted along the fence line. So it will eventually cover the whole fence, and then we'll have some nice flowers and stuff. This is a Jamaican lilikoi back there. Yeah, so that's it. We did plant a, which I don't think I put, oh, I think I did mention it in my video. We did our first rainbow eucalyptus. I think I just had some pictures in there talking about it a couple videos ago. But yeah, this is the plant that I'm going to transplant today. And also an update, if you take a look at our papayas, which I'm sure you've seen in the background of videos before, but these were basically grown from seed. Will you guys stop? Hati's such a... What are you doing? Oh my gosh. So these were actually grown from seed, and I got these from a coworker actually. So when I got them in the pot, they were literally like 5 inches tall. So we grew them. I transplanted them here in the chicken run, and for a long time there was a, or not a long time, maybe 4 or 5 months, I had a fence going around this so that the chickens couldn't get in there and pick at it. Once it got big enough, I took that fence down. But when I clean out the coop, so the bedding that's in the coop and has all the chicken poop and stuff in there, I come and I spread it around the base of these trees. And as you can see, they're growing really big. I don't know a whole lot about papaya. I know that there's 3 types. There's male, female, and a hermaphrodite. And I'm guessing, since these have fruits and flowers at the same time, that they are hermaphrodites. From what I've been told, the best fruit is from the females, but I mean, these will be good too. These are just the regular variety papaya. And we feed these to the chickens and then we eat them ourselves. So soon, hopefully we'll have some papayas. These things are probably at least 10 feet tall. Yeah, they're doing really good. Whew. Well, I got the majority of it cleared out of all the long weeds and stuff, all the tall stuff. As you can see, the couple of tea plants I was talking about, a couple red ones right here. There's a green one, another red one, and a red and green one. So, I mean, I planted those in here. Literally, I just poked a hole in the ground and I put the stalk in there, and then they just continue to grow. So now I'm going to get some weed cloth. I'm basically going to cover this whole area, basically from this berm all the way over to the fence, and then I'm going to start distributing these rocks out here on top of the weed cloth to make kind of a little bit of a barrier. Not necessarily a wall, it's more just to, I guess, hold the weed cloth in place, and then eventually maybe I'll get some wood chips or something to throw on top of the weed cloth, but we'll see how that goes. So where I would like to plant the tree, this rock pile is bigger than I remember. Basically that rock right there is the spot where I would like to plant the tree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to maneuver some of these rocks around, and I'm going to make basically a box for the tree to be planted inside of, out of these large rocks. Rather than, I was going to do a pallet, you know, like a raised box pallet type thing with weed mat over it, but these rocks will actually work out better. So some of these rocks are really huge, like that one I doubt that I'll even be able to move. I might be able to roll it a little bit, but I mean, they're massive. Ew. I have a snail on me. Nasty. So anyway, I'm gonna go get the weed cloth and we'll continue. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I got the weed mat here, and basically I'm gonna kind of start up here on the hill. I'm gonna place it, put rocks on it to hold it in place. I'm gonna cut some slits in it and pull these teeth through. They don't look very good right now, but these are pretty hardy plants, so it'll grow back nicely. Everything that's actually underneath here will just die and break down and, you know, contribute to the soil. So like I said, basically what I'm going to do is I'll cut a slit in the weed cloth around these two, pull the leaves through so that the plant is exposed, and then just start stacking rocks on there. Let me get the weed cloth. Boy. And hopefully the sound is okay. I'm still not sold on using that smart mic, and it's on ultra wide, so I'm sure that I look like sexy. So anyway, here's my weed cloth. This is a 6-foot roll. It's I think 150 feet long. This was about $100 at one of the local garden supply places. Actually, Rudy's Shade Cloth is the name of the place. They make canopies and weed mat and tarps. So anyway, let me get started on this. Probably be a lot of time lapses, so this is kind of boring just to watch. Whew, man, those rocks are heavy. And it's raining. I'm a total mess. But anyway, you get the basic idea of what I'm doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue working, getting some of these rocks spread out, get the next row of weed mat put in, and then I'll come back and show you my progress. Whew, man, these rocks are heavy. So I moved a bunch of these big rocks out here from the pile. I have my second row of weed mat down. I have holes cut around these T, one up there. Of course, it's starting to rain again. So this weed mat is actually kind of waterproof. The water does not actually go through it that well. So my spot where I'm going to plant my tree is right here. So I'm going to start building up, a rock pile around it. Underneath, or where I'm going to actually put the tree, I will cut the weed mat. I'm not going to remove it. I'll just cut an X in it. And then once the tree gets big enough, it will actually go down through that. But I just don't want any more of like this cane grass. All this stuff is just guinea grass, I guess they call it as well. That stuff will just take over an area real fast. I don't know if you guys remember, ones that have been watching for a long time, but this entire area was guinea grass all the way up to the carport way back when we first moved in. And then you can still see remnants of it. So I just have to keep on it. And the only way really to get rid of it is just to pull it out. You have to actually pull the roots out, as with everything. But it takes, years really to get things out, because if there's one little seed in the ground, it can lay dormant, and then, once it's exposed to some sun and water, it'll just start growing again. And that's how a lot of the stuff back here, all of this was cleared out, in the previous video you saw Taylor. And this is all growth that's back since he's been here. And that was, what, 4 or 5 months ago, I think it was, when he was here clearing this. So if you don't stay on top of it, it just turns back into a jungle. That's why the more area you clear, the more work you're making for yourself. So I'm going to start forming up a little rock ring here. I'm going to try and go maybe about 2 feet high or so, because I want it to have a nice base of soil. And then I'm going to fill this with soil and some chicken manure, and then of course the plant once it's ready. This is all on wide screen too, that's why it looks so fish-eyed. Okay, So this is pretty much set up, I think how I want it. I didn't end up putting a piece of weed cloth that way because it's a weird angle. So I'm keeping this basically in a band. I'll add some more smaller rocks right here around this T. And then I think I'll probably get like some red cinder or something and then fill this space on top of the weed cloth. All these big rocks are just going to kind of stay where they're at. And then let me step over this. You can see my spot that I made for the tree. So what I'm going to do now is I'll cut this. I'll probably just put a slice right down the middle, just so that when the tree does get big enough that the roots need to grow, it can actually get past that. So I'm going to go grab get probably a wheelbarrow full of gravel, and I'm going to fill this with gravel first so that it has good drainage, and then I'm going to go in with soil and chicken manure and more garden soil, and then the plant itself. So getting close. All right, so I got the whole bottom of this filled with gravel. I tried to use some of the bigger rocks that were cleaner. Yeah, just so it has good drainage. So I'm gonna go grab the soil and the chicken manure and the plant. Good stuff. All right, so I get this stuff from Home Depot. It's about $9 a bale. It says it's for flowers and vegetables, but this is probably the best organic garden soil that I've seen. And at $9 a bale, that's a pretty good price. Has a lot of biomass in it, which is really good. So as it breaks down, it adds more nutrients. And then the Stutzman Super Green, that is the chicken manure. So this one I get from a place called Ag Nutrient, which is right by the Hilo dump. It's about $7, 7 and change for the 25-pound bag. This stuff is great. These two things I use for everything that I plant. It's a great combination. All right, let's get some dirt in here. All right, so I got that all filled up with dirt. I'm trying to push the dirt down into the crevices too, between the rocks. That'll just help stabilize everything, make it nicer. Then I poured a good amount of the chicken manure on there. I mixed it up a little bit with the soil. So now we're ready to add the plant in. And then once I have the plant in here, then I'm gonna pile dirt up around it again to mound it up. You don't really wanna compact this down. From the rain, it'll do that on its own naturally. So I like to keep it fluffy, I guess, keep the soil kind of fluffy. You want to have air get into the soil. It'll compact down as it grows, and as it gets more rain. So you don't need to do that when you're planting. Okay. Whew. Some nice worms in there already. That's awesome. Those are great. So I'm going to just transfer those over. Big fat ones that have like that green hue on them. Oh yeah, look at all these worms. Awesome. Tons of them. Yeah, here's another huge one. Whew, that's good. Well, hopefully they like their new home. So you want to kind of break this up just by patting it. Alright. So I'm going to grab some more soil. Man, there's tons of worms in here. That's great. All over the place. Big ones too. And the chickens would go nuts up here right now. Man, look at these things. Awesome. Yeah, there's at least 20 of those. There's another one. Tons of worms. That's great. Okay, I'm going to grab some more soil and then we'll get this finished off. Alright, so that's all done. The last thing you want to do is just give it a nice little showering of water. Anytime you transplant something, you always want to make sure to give it a good dose of water. Now, normally you would have to come back every day and give it a good dose of water too, but it rains here almost every day, so after this, it should be good. But yeah, you just want to give it a nice good soak. Clean off all the leaves if there's any dirt on there. And then when you transplant stuff, sometimes it'll get a yellowing in the leaves for the first week or so after, and that's just from transplanting it. It's a shock to the plant, so hopefully that won't happen to this one, but it's growing really great, so I think it'll be nice and strong. Alright guys, well that's going to wrap up this video. Something different, like I said, this is not my normal videos, projects, buildings, but I guess this is a project, but a different kind of project than maybe some of you are used to seeing. There will be more videos like this down the line. Of course, like I said, we're going to be developing, we have another 600 feet, probably 1.5 acres of land, from here back, so we're going to be doing a lot over the next couple years. So I'll just put this into its own little playlist, and then any other videos like this will be in that same playlist. Call it Fruit Forest or something. So anyway guys, looking forward to having some nice Brazilian cherries in maybe 3 years or so. We'll see how it does. But thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next video. Aloha.